Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Wednesday, June 18th. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. Next week, we start permissionless and ETHCC and France, but we are here Monday through Thursday and occasionally Wednesday nights to share helpful news, commentary, to answer your crypto questions, and then hang out with some of our expert guests and friends so that you can feel like you are behind the scenes in the wild and wonderful world of Web3, building the future right alongside us, because it is a movement and you, yes, you are invited. So wherever you are, whenever you listen, thank you so much for being here. Time to rise up. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty great, man. My Whoop strap, not sponsored, but could be. I don't know how or why hey, we got people here, Whoop sponsor us. My Whoop strap said I slept 96%. So I feel pretty chipper that I'm starting off the day having crushed sleep so well. Pretty excited about it. The small victories, small wins.
Girl boss.
You win because my not Whoop, but Sunto, also not sponsored, should be. I need a t-shirt. This just says I'm not sponsored, but I should be in general.
And then just a sticky note with like, but Polygon's okay.
I can't say it for everything.
I didn't realize that, Alex, you are such a Stephen Bartlett maxi that you would ever think of using another like smart device other than, isn't that the one he invested in, Whoop?
Yes, but to be fair,
fun to say.
I've been wearing a Sunto since high school.
Yeah, you brand loyalty guy.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I have never had a smartwatch before. And so now when I get up, this thing is like, hey, good morning. And it's like, it can tell that I'm not like up and walking around now. And then it like gives me my report card, and it's usually so awful. It's like, hey, it was 61%, buddy. It was 4 hours and 40 minutes, buddy. Maybe do better. And I have this like sleep target. So it's always just like, it was minus 3 hours and 45 minutes from your target.
Yeah.
Do better. And then tomorrow it's just going to be like, I mean, yeah, motivates me to want to do better, but I still haven't managed to squeak out extra hours in the day. There's only 24 and I need like 18 of them to work on stuff.
Correct.
This seems like a good time to remind you that the morning show is, in fact, sponsored and powered by our friends over at Polygon. We love the team at Polygon, and if you want to see some of the content that we have been doing with them or that we are doing with them, then I've got good news for you. We're on your favorite podcasting platform. We've got playlists on YouTube. You can find all the links at theriseuppmorningshow.com. It's super easy to get connected, to find a staking tutorial, to find out how to purchase a Katana crate. Will, I know you walked through that in office hours, and I have had a video in my drafts that I have just been working, need to post. But we have some exciting conversations coming up with different folks who are building in their ecosystem. I can't wait for Evan McMullen to come back to the show. Might be my favorite Evan. High praise, but
I mean, she's a pretty cool Evan.
Yeah, but she can't be your favorite guy.
Evan. No, you're my favorite Evan.
Okay.
I only know one Evan.
Yes. So thank you to our friends at Polygon, and shout out to our friends at Aptos, who are going to be the official conference sponsors of the show next week. I am going to travel to New York for permissionless. If you're going to be there, then we'd love to see you. And I think I don't know if our next guest is going to be there, but I do believe PizzaDAO will be there in full force. So what do you say? Should we bring up young Scrimmage?
Yes, right after Will mutes on TikTok.
Yikes.
Beautiful.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. Don't fret. Don't sweat. Technically superior. We can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of PizzaDAO before, then you are in for a real treat, and possibly literally. Each year they sponsor a global decentralized pizza party made with cheese, love, sauce, and of course DAO, and are one of my favorite examples of a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization that actually does stuff. What a concept. And young Scrimmage agreed to come on and talk about the pizza party. He is a governance steward and has recently been promoted to a dread Pizza Roberts, one of the highest honors and official titles a member of the DAO can receive. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our friend, Young Scrimmage, aka Scrimmy, aka Don Scrimmy Jon. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
GM doing great. Amazing intro. Thank you for that awesome intro. Yeah, definitely a treat. This year was big for PizzaDAO, so it's cool hearing the acknowledgement. And we will definitely be at permissionless too this year. So yes.
Beautiful. For people who are unfamiliar with how you show up, can you describe like a PizzaDAO event?
Yeah, basically we so we try to find a really good location that's central to the venue for like a side conference or for a conference. So like a side event, we want to find a good spot that's like centralized where everybody can attend easily. And we want really high quality pizza there, right? So you can enjoy that throughout the day. And we do it in waves too, by the way. So like we make sure there's fresh pizza all day for the party. And yeah, that's basically that's the essentials for our pizza party is like a good location, good pizza, and good vibes.
And let me tell you, the vibes are immaculate. Before getting to host a pizza party, the last event I attended was the pizza party at ETH Denver. I know you had your partners Stand with Crypto there and several others who made it possible not only to rent a killer room, but the Ninja Turtles, who have a big spot in your lore, actually showed up.
Yes, definitely. And also Shredder joined too, didn't he?
You know, if he did, I wasn't there. I had to bounce. So tell us about it. Did he join?
I think he was there. Yeah. So Shredder was there. The Turtles were there too. And basically, we like to incorporate the Turtles because that's like the foundation of our entire system. So when you join PizzaDAO in our Discord, you're kind of introed as a turtle, essentially. So we ask you for your favorite Mafia movie and your favorite pizza topping. We find you a Mafia name. And then we have you pick your turtle. So we have like Leonardo as the community lead, Raphael is biz dev, Michelangelo is art, and Donatello is tech, right? So like you pick your turtles through Collabland. Like we have like a little like bot thing that you can like select your own emojis. So like the turtles are huge for the foundation, and then the Mafia stuff and pizza toppings are also huge too. But yeah, turtles are big for us.
Yeah, as they should.
Okay, this creates some very natural questions. Who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? What's your favorite pizza? Let's start with those two.
This is great. Thank you so much for posting this too, or showing this. This is exactly what it looks like, kind of. And we have like a bigger infographic of all the turtles too. But mine is going to be, it's a rare one, and people called it the Satoshi Special but it's been debunked. But I like pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple the most, which is I think a classic, and it's amazing. You got to try it if you haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet. I think I do have to try it. I love a Hawaiian pizza and I love pepperoni pizza.
Mix it together. It's great. And add jalapeno too. It's amazing. So I enjoy that pizza. My favorite Mafia movie, I think it's Goodfellas. And then my favorite turtle is Raphael. But my son, who's 4, he loves Leonardo. So we have that kind of like back and forth going there a little bit.
And how did you arrive at Don Scrimmy Jon? Did Young Scrimmage come first? And also, I assume that this is maybe not your in fact actual picture, but I really hope it's this guy here for the people in podcast land.
Wait, that's not it.
I showed a little slide of what it looks like to onboard and kind of pick a turtle, and then I'm showing a slide now. You'll have to come to YouTube to see of just the only way I can describe it is this picture looks like it came from like 1980 of a man who spends his time in barbershop quartets. Watching the occasional baseball game and probably owns the best pizzeria in your town. Like,
oh my goodness,
something shady happening in the back, but he gives free lollipops to the kids. Is this guy right here? So is this you?
Let's go. Unfortunately, that's not me, but I wish it was me. First and foremost, this is Happy Joe Whitty, who is the owner of the Happy Joe's franchise. It's a pizzeria and ice cream parlor. And he's also the
Hell yeah.
inventor of the Taco Joe pizza, which is the like taco pizza.
Oh.
So yes, he's the inventor of that. And he is locally where I am in Iowa. So that's where I got the inspiration. So Happy Joe, I selfishly want to like proliferate his image and his story across the world. And
Yeah.
through PizzaDAO, it's a great way to do it.
I mean, when you're a parlor, like I already know that your ice cream or your pizza is going to be incredible.
100%. It's amazing pizza. It's great. And I believe it's also family owned still. Maybe it's a little bit more corporate these days. But they have like Midwest locations and one randomly in Cairo, Egypt, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, he had like a vacation out there. There's like pictures of Happy Joe on like a camel and stuff. It's pretty insane, actually.
That's amazing.
So you got really inspired to have a pizzeria out there. But yeah, so that's the Happy Joe story and my PFP. But also like Young Scrimmage came from, before I joined PizzaDAO, I was like in the music and stuff. So I would produce like rap music and that kind of stuff and just beats and instrumentals for artists. Which also I'm featured on the PizzaDAO mixtape, which is cool too. So we have our own mixtape project. We just finished volume 2. But yeah, my music's on there as well. So Young Scrimmage is like my artist name. And then when I joined PizzaDAO, Snacks asked me that classic question, what's your favorite mafia movie and pizza topping? At the time, I don't think I had an answer. So I thought of like a creative name because at the time they're still doing Dons, but now they don't do Dons anymore. So it's kind of a rare name in PizzaDAO is the Don title. So I knew like Jimmy John's was a funny kind of like just food kind of name, right? Like, food company. So I was like, why not do Scrimmy Jon? So Don Scrimmy Jon kind of came from that idea when I couldn't think of a mafia movie or like favorite topping at the time. But yeah, it's great.
Okay, now let's talk about Bitcoin and the global pizza party, because this is, I think, such a great way to celebrate our space's history and bring people into like the lore of PizzaDAO. Maybe starting with talking about this year's pizza party, or just generally explaining why pizza and Bitcoin go together for people who don't know.
Yeah, so we have an amazing presentation about this actually. So it's like Laszlo buying the 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin back in 2010, I believe. So that's like the inspiration of kind of why we started PizzaDAO. I think Snacks really gravitate towards that story because it's super cool. So yeah, basically in 2010, Laszlo bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Today, that's obviously worth a lot of money. So we wanted to basically pizza the planet and in an homage to that amazing purchase, right? So basically every year we throw, I guess you would call it decentralized, because we pick hosts all across the world, and we're not like there, so it's like very remote, right? This year we were in 420 cities, all across the world, which is kind of insane. And and they all threw pizza parties locally and invited their community out and had a good time.
Man, we hosted one in Memphis, my friend Sardor and I could not be there because I was going to visit my family, but the pictures were great. The pizza was popping, and it was just so cool to be part of something that was that big and that distributed, and honestly, like that fun. Every PizzaDAO event I've ever been to has been a great time, and one of the criticisms I have of our space that I think you guys share is, very much how insular we have become. And it's important to be able to help everyday people who will benefit from this technology or not understand what it is, why it might matter, but also like, it's just good to serve people and help them out. And everybody loves pizza. Like you said before we started recording, pizza, it was meant to be shared, which
100%
is very cool.
The nature of pizza is it's 8 slices, 6 slices, right? So it's meant to be shared. It's really hard to put down a pizza by yourself. We recommend 2 slices per person. So I mean, get on that pie. But how did the Memphis party go for you? How'd you like it?
The Memphis party was great. We had it downtown in a place called Court Square. Sardor and his family, they have a building there of apartments and community living. And so it was a really great spot to have it. There's a park there. And I don't have the pictures prepped to pull up from our party because they live on my phone and not on my computer, but a number of people came through. We did not have any pepperoni, pineapple, jalapeno, but we did have pretty much every other kind of pizza somebody could want. And,
Makes me sick. Come on, man.
Listen, it was excellent though. And working with you guys was super easy. I think I was kind of uncoordinated and untogether because I had shifting priorities, family plans came up, death in the family. So like to have Sardor step up and to have you guys, like, if you want to host one of these pizza parties, Scrim and Snacks are so good to work with. You have the presentation that you can share with like additional sponsors. You guys give people ways to fund the party, and you also share all these like promotional materials that make it super easy to onboard people to like a wallet to get a credential for proving they were there. I don't know, it's just seamless and cool, and I would highly recommend it. So if somebody wants to take part in the pizza party next year, maybe Will wants to get involved in the Boston chapter, or Alex is going to bring it to Savannah, what's the game plan? How does somebody get involved?
Yeah, the best thing you can do is join our Discord. That's discord.pizza.xyz. Joining that Discord will like onboard you to not only the pizza process, like just in our community, but we can also like issue you like a Telegram chat for your city and like help you start building for next year. This year, like I said, we had 420 cities, and next year we want 690 cities. So like we want to like add 60, 70 cities for next year minimum. Which is going to be great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. So I'm actually kind of curious too. How did you get into PizzaDAO? What was your onboarding experience? And it sounds like it was pretty smooth. We do focus on that big time, is like making it as easy as possible to throw pizza parties. So like, how did you feel about the entire process?
I mean, it was very easy. It was very easy. It was asynchronous. Like it was made difficult by some of the things going on in my life, but never because of you guys. And you asked how I became familiar with PizzaDAO. I feel like, Alex, maybe you and I got hip to them around the same time a couple years ago. I ran into you guys a few East Denvers ago, and it was the same kind of thing. There was hot pizza all day, just rotating through. And I remember also hearing a lot about the Rare Pizzas collection, because that's the other thing, and I don't want to rug you with this, but people who want to support, I know, can also support the work of PizzaDAO by getting a rare pizza, minting a rare pizza.
100%. Yeah, that's rarepizzas.com. You can actually mint a pizza. This is great. Thank you. You can mint a pizza box. So you buy the box there on the left for 0.08 ETH. And you can actually like order pizza from your box. So you open the box, and like with, I think, just a gas transaction, you can actually order a pizza out of the box, which is the rare pizza. So this is cool too. So as the governance steward, I should also pitch this as well. If you have a box or pizza, you are in the box or pizza mafia, and you have access to voting into our DAO as well. So you can like vote for pizza parties that are not on 522, which we have a lot. So I think last year we funded $20,000 worth of like side event parties that were not like affiliated with PizzaDAO directly, which is just community members coming by wanting pizza for their parties. And you can vote on if you think these are great opportunities for PizzaDAO to expand, or like if you like the people. That's basically the way that you would actually participate in our governance, is having a box or pizza.
And I see too, we kind of touched it at the beginning, but it looks like through your Discord, you also do these community calls that are oriented around like upskilling people, helping them build relationships with other members of the DAO. And we kind of talked a little last week with our friend Blake, who he is a founder of Myosin DAO. They're marketing focused. And we've had a couple of conversations on our show about how, you remember this, Scrim, that a couple years ago, everybody was going to start a DAO. Everybody tried to start a DAO. Most of them fell apart. But I think the model of like aligning your incentives, coordinating at scale, even though you might not necessarily live in the same place, is a helpful one. Do you want to get nerdy a little bit and talk about some of the mechanisms beyond like minting a rare pizza that behind the scenes make the DAO work? Like how do you incentivize people to participate in governance? How do you keep people coming back? How do you do meaningful progress? What are like the tools or the structures that you would recommend somebody who wants to do something like this look into?
Oh man, this is great. I do want to nerd out a little bit on this. So one of our bigger uh, things that we do in PizzaDAO is we have a community call every Sunday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern. And that's been a great way to inform the community on what we're doing. We also we stream it on Twitter, X. We also stream it on YouTube at the same time as well. So people can kind of get in that way. But what you pulled up here is one of our biggest assets, I'd say, for productivity in the DAO. This is the crew system. So we have a pretty in-depth system, and we have crew calls Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if you go to calendar.pizza.xyz, you can actually oh, whoops, sorry for the link. You can actually like sign up for our crew calls, and these crew calls, you go in there and you can basically contribute to anything that's related to the title of the crew. So like education call, we kind of want to that one is not super active right now because we that's how we make our like educational materials for PizzaDAO essentially. But the big ones right now are like biz dev crew, finance crew, ops crew, tech crew, and yeah, those are the big ones to join currently. Governance crew as well. And the other ones get more active more towards 522, but this is basically how it all works. So we have these crew calls weekly, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we just talk about how to get things done. You know, like we just kind of discuss things on a weekly basis, always with 522 in mind, but also like things that are, prevalent in the short term as well. So like, side events or conferences that we want to be at, we'll talk about that stuff. We'll develop partnership relationships, partner relationships on the biz dev calls, and we handle all of the comms stuff like social media posts on our comms call. So it's super cool. That was all implemented last year. I think that's been a big reason why we scaled to 420 cities this year from 200 the previous year. It was kind of insane. So we had these crew calls that were super productive, and the end result was an awesome pizza party all across the world. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, just take a second to appreciate that many pizza parties happening simultaneously.
And how serendipitous, 420. I'm sure the crypto community absolutely loved that.
There was actually a pitch for 421 and they said no.
Well, it does say 420 plus.
That's fair.
So it is plus. It is plus. And we have to do plus to make sure that they all get across the line. But 420 was the mark that we wanted to hit, of course. And next year is 690. So we like the meme numbers a lot in PizzaDAO. Even our menu is all meme numbers, essentially. Our partner deck, it's all meme numbers for the pricing tiers. But yeah, so like 420 parties, very intense. A lot of work went into it. I'm personally in all the chats. So like I'm also known as a capo regime. So I help the coordinators of all the regions execute on their individual cities. So if there's a question they have a hard time answering or they see my help, it's kind of my job to be in each city chat to identify where I can help out with immediate solutions. So in Memphis, I'm sure we talked a lot about stuff, you and I was doing the same thing with all 420 cities, essentially.
Yeah. I was impressed. I thought your ability to coordinate, you and Snacks both were super responsive, and I'm not terribly involved. I'm into a pizza a couple years ago, and I don't think I've ever used it. I am somebody who samples a lot of stuff in crypto, but as like a co-founder of the media company here, I honestly don't get to dive deep into everything. So to be able to I hope it's helpful. Even people like me who can come in, come out, and buy a pizza here and host a party there. But you guys really coordinating with them was a dream. It was fun.
Let's go. Thank you so much. That's great. And people, most people are like you, where they want to come in and contribute, and they have active lives where they don't have capacity to be there like 24/7, right? So I really think that we value those contributors a lot, especially during 522, because like that's when we really need people to come in. So we want to make it as easy as possible for anybody to get onboarded to our system and throw an amazing pizza party. And I'm glad that Memphis went so well for you this year too.
Hey man, thank you. We do have a couple of rapid fire questions.
Yes.
Way up there asks, Young Scrimmage, is there any relation to Young Gravy?
Not directly, but I had an ex-girlfriend who I think maybe this is like subconscious, I guess, perhaps, but an ex-girlfriend who dated him before in the past. I think he's from Wisconsin, right? Like Wisconsin.
He's
area?
from the Midwest. I don't know where though.
It looks
Yeah,
like
I think they were dating before me and her got together in a relationship. So I think that was interesting that crossovers here. So
okay, ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, let me know if you've got a question for our friend Scrim, aka Young Scrimmage, aka Scrimmy, Don Scrimmy Jon.
I got one.
Go for it.
yes.
So when you go and you select pizza for the pizza parties, what is the pizza vetting process? Is there, to find the high quality pizza in the area to order?
That's a great question, actually. So it's we know a lot of pizzerias just by the nature of like doing it for 5 years now. So we kind of know the good ones in the States, especially. But I think for like remote locations that we don't have like people on the ground, and like especially for like a first year host, we kind of trust that they know a good pizzeria. And our basic our basic denial process is no chains, right? We want local pizzerias only. So we want to find high quality local pizzerias, and we kind of trust the host to make that distinction of a high quality pizza. We put a lot of trust in the host. That's what I'll say for sure. A lot of trust in them to execute and find a good pizza. But no chains. And
how about?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, and this might be a question you don't want to answer. We asked you before. Any topics, any questions you want to be asked, and this might be one because it might be too pizza political. What is your favorite pizza shop?
Ooh, my favorites. I mean, obviously it's Happy Joe's.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Happy Joe's.
We go there a lot. It's a local pizzeria. Happy Joe's is like, my family loves Happy Joe's. I've been eating it since I was a kid. So like I nerd out about Happy Joe's pretty hard, especially knowing like the taco pizza like origin story. So yeah, that's big for me. I think my least favorite pizza, I mean, Pizza Hut is not my favorite at all. Pizza is like, chain, not a big Pizza Hut guy. I think PizzaDAO out pizzas Pizza Hut, in my opinion. But
I mean, if you aren't, I think you will be.
Yes, 100%. So one day we will.
As far as chains go, I would probably have to agree. And it all stems back from a bad experience that I had with, do you guys remember Book It?
No.
Ooh.
Come on, somebody.
What is it? Is it like an app?
How old are you?
Not that much older than you, bub.
I know.
I don't know, like elementary school time. So this was, a long time ago. And in the 90s, it was like a thing that elementary schools did where, you as a class, like had to read so many books, and then whichever class, like, read the most books, you got a pizza party.
Oh,
and
sure.
That's
my
right,
elementary
yep.
school, shout out Aiken Elementary, Nashville, Tennessee, was always sponsored like by Pizza Hut, and so that's where you would win it. And we won, I think like my second or third grade years. This is like 1997, 98. And we went, and my dad would enjoy this episode. I'm gonna have to get my mom to share this one with him because he's a huge pizza nerd. And we went to Pizza Hut and he was just like, "What is this trash? What is this garbage?" It was like the stones that it was served on were like plasticky, so like that taste was kind of like in the bottom. And I'll never like I can still like viscerally remember the plasticky like underside of like, and this is like Pizza Hut 25 years ago. No, longer, 28 years ago. So it was a long time ago, but I'll never forget. I'll say
one positive thing about Pizza Hut, and that is growing up
Not on
as
this
a
show,
kid.
you won't.
I will say one positive thing, just because like our family, it was weird. Like we grew up very, like I grew up very comfortably, but my parents didn't, and so we had like some tendencies that were just like poor habits, like dining habits that were still like in the family. And one of those things was like fancy eating night was like going to the Pizza Hut. It was like going to our local Pizza Hut, and he had like the can eat salad that was like just a petri dish of like people's dirt and hands from like, grabbing lettuce. But like I would get my little personal pizza, and then we'd all have our own, and I wouldn't have to worry about like my brothers like eating and stealing my food. I'm just like this is mine. So I have like very fond memories of going to Pizza Hut as a kid. However, I purposely have not eaten Pizza Hut in I think 15, 16, maybe 17 years. So, you know, it just holds a nice little warm embrace in my heart. But, you know, it's definitely the worst of the brands or the chains.
So wait, when we say no chains, if it's like we're talking like big chains, not like a place that is like relatively local that has like 2 or 3 locations kind of thing.
Yes. Also, I want to go back to by your Book It comment. I just chatted with the education crew. I put in there. I was like, I think we should do Book It, but for local pizzerias.
Dude,
that could be kind of cool, actually.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
Hell yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So kids like that do accomplish like some reading goals can like get a free pizza party for their family or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Or a proof of pizza redemption. But yeah. So on the chains thing, I do think that we don't want the big conglomerate corporations like Domino's, Pizza Hut, or sometimes we have to though, because there's locations that don't even have local pizzerias, and we find that to be good location to encourage pizzeria operators to go into. That's kind of what we're thinking about in the future, is like having pizzerias that operating in those locations that don't have anything. Like in Africa, there's places that don't have a local pizzeria, but they have a Domino's that's the reach that Domino's has, right? So we have to try to fix that problem. But for like local pizzerias, we want like 1 to 3 shops, probably max. If it's like a mom and pop shop that has like 5, that's cool too, I guess. But like nothing like giant like these Domino's, Pizza Hut, or Papa John's guys. Though we do pay homage to Papa John's as the original like location where the 2 Bitcoin pizzas were purchased.
That's fair. Yeah. That feels like a worthy carve out.
Yeah,
exactly.
And we have a comment here from Humble Pirate over on TikTok that says, "If Book It happens, I may look into hosting." So we got so interested.
Let's go.
I just threw the quick little Google, and not only is it still a thing, but it certainly seems to have evolved. And I did not realize, but I guess this makes sense. The entire Book It program is 100% sponsored by Pizza Hut. It's like a Pizza Hut program.
Dang,
interesting.
So, and
so
now
they've clearly cornered the market here. We need to kind of like get into that. And
I was going to say, really there's an opportunity to bring better pizza to little readers.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is interesting. Thank you so much for this idea, you guys. I think we've brought something kind of interesting here. I think kids deserve local pizza and not Pizza Hut, in my opinion.
Yes.
Dude, if what comes out of this particular episode is that my random walk down my 2nd grade memory lane inspires a children's literacy program funded by PizzaDAO or supported by PizzaDAO, that would be cool as shit.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I would.
Let's go.
I would have that all day on the platform. I would read a kid's book online for you. I don't know. There's lots of opportunity.
You literally wrote a kid's book.
I did write a kid's book.
Read the one that you wrote with pizza.
That's exactly right. Just swap it out and we'll just pizza it. We have a couple of good comments I want to highlight. Our friend Nick in the audience says he and our other friend Lucas used to work at Pizza Hut. Shout out Blockchain Boy. Carol asks, are you familiar with the beloved Tacanelli's in Philadelphia where you need to order pizza ahead of time? And I got to say, no. Anybody know Tacanelli's? It sounds good.
I don't, but I know Snacks is. I'm sure he is because he's local in Philadelphia. So I'm sure he knows a lot about that. I'll ask him about it when I talk to him next.
And check this out. Avrio Lopez says, speaking of pizza,
yes,
there's an X page named Pentagon Pizza, which basically tracks pizza places and based on their increasing footfall during non-peak hours, can predict when a big thing happens at the White House.
Brilliant.
Wild.
Yes, this is a real tracker, and I'm well aware of it, and it's predicted like a lot of the major conflicts because like I guess everyone just loves pizza at that time. When they're in the crisis room, it's like pizza time, I guess. So that's what it is.
Yeah, the handle is at Pen Pizza Report over on X, and I don't know who had the idea for that, but 146,000 followers. People want to know.
It's
Oh my
genius.
God! Wait, that banner's amazing.
Right?
Yeah,
baby.
That banner's so good.
For people in podcast, it's a 4-star general with some real interesting teeth. Just happy about his pizza.
Wait,
Yeah,
is the Pentagon also heavily sponsored by Pizza Hut
I'm
is
sure
now.
it is.
and
sure it is.
Coinbase?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I do think the pizza trackers is actually pretty interesting because I think they use the Google traffic like API or something to map that out, which is interesting. I think pretty smart use of like Google's like already existing system to track like conflicts, which is I think pretty cool. I'm not sure. I think there's even one pizzeria that's been excluded because it's so accurate that I think like they were forced to not participate in the tracker or something. I can't remember. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Did you play Crypto the Game at all, Scrim?
Oh, I did not, but a lot of people in PizzaDAO did, definitely.
We had a killer challenge this year where the puzzle led people to a pizza place in Brooklyn. I think it was Best Pizza. And if you ordered a slice, they would write the answer to the puzzle on your plate. And shout out, we had one tribe mate who was like, I live right down the street from this place. I'm going now, just in case it's the answer. And there were all these Crypto the Game people in line, and he did not happen to be the first one to get it. But how cool it was to include pizza in the challenge, support a local pizza place, and it just was a lot of fun. He did not win, but he got his just desserts, so to speak. He said the pizza was fantastic.
That's amazing. So it sounds like though he probably mingled with the other folks that are there for the game, right? Like, he probably talked to other folks there and like had a good. That's what it's all about, really.
Totally,
right?
Bringing people together.
Exactly. Yes.
In a
I
second,
love that about this, just because, like you mentioned, if a pizza is meant to be shared, and I was just throwing up the old repost for the stream on Twitter, and the top post was from one of our friends, Lindsay Poss, who was just talking about the lack of growth, and she was quote tweeting someone complaining about the lack of growth, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, we live in this industry, we live and work here in a place where we all collectively like feel like you don't really have to market to new people ever to grow. We just like deserve to grow because it's cool. And then I think about like all the things that have the highest potential to actually meaningfully demonstrate something about the industry in a way that's like not cringy and super shilly and gross and like snake oily. And dude, pizza's it.
Pizza's it.
Like, it's the easiest onboarding tool of all time.
It's the greatest unifier. Everyone loves it.
It is the secret
Everyone wants
sauce.
it.
Come for the pizza,
sauce.
stay for the revolution,
Everyone loves pizza. Like, it's hard to find someone who hates pizza, and that's just the genius onboarding tool. So you're totally right. I think it's the best scaling thing that anybody can do is like incorporate pizza into their system.
That, and also, if you meet somebody who doesn't like pizza and they don't have like a medical reason for not being able to eat it, I don't know, do we trust that person?
Yeah, but you can mitigate all those medical reasons. Like, if it's lactose, and okay, there's other
Not
options.
if you're celiac.
Of course there is. What are you talking about? You can't. Of course there's gluten-free pizza.
gluten-free pizza, dude, might be one of the best inventions of the 21st century.
My neighbor.
I forgot about gluten-free pizza just because I'm like very much so.
Well,
I would just never eat it.
Well, okay, yeah.
I forgot it existed. I forgot it existed.
Not only does it exist, but actually there are some that are amazing. The ones that are like in the freezer in the grocery store are. But my neighbor was like a actually, and my aunt and uncle run a gluten-free bakery. I would totally pitch to. Oh, Evan, yeah, duh, you met them. I would totally pitch to them like, all right, pizza dough. You got it. It's got to be a thing. And my neighbor, when I lived in the tiny house, they were huge. They all had her husband and her both had celiac disease, and so she was like on a quest to perfect gluten-free pizza, and it was pretty good. Pretty damn good.
I think Snacks enjoys gluten-free pizza, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And I think he eats with vegan cheese. He has a very particular style of pizza. But going back to the vetting thing as well, I think pizza is a natural vetting tool, because like if you don't like pizza, do I want to work with you?
Amen.
Probably not. I probably don't want to work
Mhm.
with you. I don't trust you and your ethics.
Okay,
You're
but do
on
you
the
judge
side.
people by their toppings? Because I do.
I can't because
absolutely.
I'm a pineapple guy. You know, that's the most controversial topping of all. So like, I'm super open to everybody. But like, what toppings do you guys find to be the most questionable? I guess like sauerkraut is one that I wouldn't like enjoy on a pizza. You know,
Mm.
but
Have you
I-
seen?
I-
I know you're not on TikTok, but there's a guy here who his whole shtick is like making a different pizza every day with controversial toppings. He'll do like pear and prosciutto and blue cheese. I mean, which is not, I don't think that controversial, but just unconventional stuff.
That
He had one
sounds
that was
pretty
like
good.
corn elote pizza, and his
That
whole thing
sounds
is
good.
every time he's like, "This is the best one yet," and the people in the comments are like, "Bro, how can everyone be the best one yet?" He has one with like sliced grapes and red onions. I mean, they're all so creative, but like you can just tell when he's making the video, like his wrists are thick, like somebody who has made good pizza every day of his life and enjoyed it, So I don't know. I don't like pineapple that much, but I don't know. I would eat it if it was all there was.
I like pineapple pizza so much that I eat it even though I am allergic to it. I get a pineapple pizza and then my girlfriend's just like, "Stop eating this." I'm like,
You're allergic to what?
Never pineapple.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
break out?
So what happens is red starts appearing on my shoulders, moves up my neck and fills in at my cheeks. And then my tongue starts getting fuzzy and starts swelling a little bit. And I've not continued to eat pineapple past that point. And then after like an hour, it goes away. So typically, oh, wait, no, did we lose him?
We did.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I'm sure
He
he'll
just
be-
rage quit because you were allergic to pineapple.
Allergic to pineapple?
We'll give him a minute. He'll be back.
Damn.
That's okay. We'll give him just a second. And while we do, let me invite you to share your last questions and thoughts for Young Scrimmage. You can follow him over on X at Young Scrimmage. And in a minute, we're going to ask him to pick a number because this seems like a good time to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that for PizzaDAO, we are going to give away not one, but 2 pizzas on the stream today. I am very excited about it. We are going to have one for someone who is here right now. If you're here and you want to win a pizza, just comment, say here, or do this instead. Comment and tell us your favorite pizza topping. If you're listening in podcast land and you want to be eligible for future giveaways, then you got to listen to the Rise Up Morning Show live, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can get the links to see us on your favorite social platform at theriseupmorningshow.com. And if you want to be eligible for all the giveaways we do, not just the general ones, then really what you should do is get a free premium trial. We've got premium memberships that'll help you accelerate your learning journey, save time and money. You can sign up for one of those at theriseupmorningshow.com. Will, are you eating pizza for breakfast?
Where did you get that?
It was in my fridge. I forgot. I had a bunch of people over on the weekend, and so I bought people pizzas. But I'm on a diet, so I couldn't eat it. But when PizzaDAO, I now get to. I will start off my day with one slice of pizza, and this is a buffalo chicken and blue cheese pizza. I prefer ranch, but my girlfriend likes blue cheese, so I obviously give the blue cheese. And yeah, it's pretty great. This one is from Dirty Water Dough here in Boston.
Carol says pepperoni is her favorite. Boring, I know. Uber Eats guy says pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms. Jay Heat said, I like moist pizza. Shout out Moist Mike. Too far. 8 in the morning pizza is great, says Matthew Wiley. Tori said dessert pizza in the comments over on YouTube. And she said, oh, and her 11-year-old says buffalo chicken. So.
Wait, I can't believe I didn't ask this before. What are your guys' favorite style of pizza?
Oh, I like the big slice that's thin,
The Sicilian?
crispy.
Yeah.
You
like thin. You like thin.
Yeah, I like lots of sauce, messy, and a little bit burnt is like fun. And I like to dip mine in blue cheese. Big blue cheese guy.
Big blue cheese guy. Interesting.
Yeah. Alex.
Probably Detroit style is up there as one of my favorites, which is just kind of like poofier, like more bar pizzas. Chicago would be, like very deep dish and whatever. Detroit is like not deep dish, but like just pillowy and poofy.
Yeah, it's But Detroit style is different from Sicilian. But like they're both poofy. But no, I like Detroit style too. I've always been a fan, traditionally, of just like your classic New York slice. Thin, crispy, but not too crispy. I used to live in Connecticut, and New Haven style is big there with the coal fire ovens. Very, very cooked very well. Very crispy. Very good, but not my favorite. I feel like it gets too crisped. And lately, in the neighborhood in Boston I live in Eastie, and Eastie is much more known for its pan pizzas, more of that Sicilian fluffy style. And I have been getting more and more acquainted with that because I like to eat like the food of my neighborhood. And in Boston, like in New York and other big cities, each pocket of the city is like known for certain foods. And so I like to eat the foods of the neighborhood I live in. And I've gotten to know a few of the restaurant owners too, and they all make pan pizzas or Sicilian pizzas, and they're awesome.
We are absolutely so sorry to everyone in podcast land or listening live who's like at the gym on your morning or evening drive, can't get to a destination where the pizza is. I know you're suffering right now, but we are with you.
I'm suffering.
I'm suffering watching Will eat that slice. That looks.
I'm not suffering.
I've got a really weird topping that is like one of my all-time favorites that I discovered sort of on accident because it was the only option to get a vegan pizza at this one at Mellow Mushroom. This was years ago. They have more options now. And I gotta say, like, I hear it before I say it. I know this is a weird one, but trust me, or don't.
Okay.
You know. First of all, barbecue sauce on pizza is great.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Big fan.
I don't like it.
What?
I don't like it.
Listen, Will. Let me propose an amendment to the way that you might be thinking about it, because obviously there's a lot of different kinds of barbecue sauce. My ultimate favorite is like a drizzle, don't dip, a drizzle of Carolina-style barbecue sauce, which is much thinner and more vinegary.
Well, Eastern or West? Oh, vinegar. Okay,
yeah.
So you're going
North Carolina, like that kind of thinner barbecue sauce. Little drizzle. Oh, so good.
Big fan of the barbecue sauce beneath the cheese. Little white and yellow. Bacon, red onion, green pepper, and chicken. That's probably my favorite too. You
guys actually went to the great Tybee Island Huckapoo's Pizza with me when you were there, and Evan, you got the what was it called? Was it just like the chef special, which was basically
it was the chef special.
Oh yeah, and it was like make whatever you want kind of for me, and it was like there was a hot dog pizza that had like hot dogs, ketchup, mustard, was incredible. There was there were like 2 or 3 slices that were just, it was like 4 different styles of pizza, and they were all fire.
Yeah, so Huckapoo's does pizza by the slice, but one slice is 1/4 of an 18-inch pizza, so they're pretty big.
They're massive.
Or you can either buy 1 slice, 2 slices, half a pizza, or the whole pizza. Huckapoo's is kind of like a local staple because even in a hurricane, when the whole island is evacuated, Huckapoo's is like still open making pizza. So it's kind of like Waffle House in that sense. Like if Huckapoo's is closed, it's the apocalypse. And Evan got chef special, which is basically just like, hey, whatever you want, 4 different quarters of 4 different kinds of pizza. And there's some pretty good ones over there. There's 1 or 2 other like little spots on Tybee, but they're not as well known as Poo's.
I will say this. I think that pizza can be a vehicle for whatever creative culinary imagination you so want. But for me, all of like the barbecue sauce, like the hot dog one, even like I've had some Reuben pizzas. Scrimmy, you mentioned like, I don't know if sauerkraut would be good, but I've had Reuben pizzas before that are good. But the distance between a classic red sauce pie with whatever toppings you want, but as long as there's a red sauce, and anything else is, it's miles. It's miles to me.
I mean, like, it's very hard to contend with a classic margarita. I think that's like my ultimate favorite.
Ooh.
Oh, you're a purist. Well, the Italians who are listening are like, finally, one person who knows what they're talking about.
I mean, that is like, it goes like without saying that if I could only have one, it would just be classic margarita.
Okay, I have one more question, and want to say welcome back to Scrimmy. In a second, we're going to do this pizza giveaway, and we will send him on his merry way. But have you guys seen Luigi Primo? He's a amateur wrestler. He's a
Oh,
professional wrestler, but
Yes,
he's like,
I love
he's-
this dude.
he's always flipping the dough around and like punching it. I mean, he's got such a great act, and his pizza flipping skills are
you know he's a friend of the mafia, right?
no way.
Yeah. We had him at the Austin party, I think last year. And this year we tried to get him to New York City for the big party there, but I think he was tired from his wrestling tour that he just went on. But yeah, we really love Luigi Primo. We're big fans of him over here too. And you know, I wanted to say this too before we end the show. And I'm so sorry that my computer shut down on me. So
good.
embarrassing. So we're talking about toppings before. We had this awesome guy named Eric Jon, who makes these like pizza arts. So he makes art out of pizza. If you look him up on Twitter,
Okay.
it's Eric Jon Pizza, and you can see that he makes these really cool like pieces out of like actual pizza toppings, which is really crazy. We hired this is him right here, yes, Eric Jon. So this is real
Damn.
pizza he makes art out of, and we hired him also for doing sponsor partner like logos on pizza. Yeah, he's really cool. He's wild.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
He's epic.
Okay. At Eric Jon Art. Check him out and support him.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Scrim, before we get a final thought from you, we would love it if you could tell people one more time where to reach you. And before that, so where to reach you, final thought, but we need you to pick a number between 1 and 86. You cannot pick 82 and you cannot pick 33.
60.
Wow, he was
60.
fast.
Yes.
That was insanely
Very
fast.
fast.
Alex, do you happen to have it pulled up?
Yep, hold on. It's on its way. Stall.
And I have pulled a random number based on the comments from the audience and want to say congratulations to Uber Eats guy over on
Oh,
TikTok.
nice.
You have won yourself a pizza, and number 60 is which of the members of our community, Alex?
Stall.
Stall.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime doll.
Let's go. Good filibuster.
Yeah.
Thanks.
While he does that, go ahead, Scrim. Tell the people where they can find you and get in touch with you or PizzaDAO online. Where are the best places?
Yeah, the best place to get in touch with both me and PizzaDAO is on the Discord. I'm very accessible there. So you want to talk to me and figure out, you know, what Scrimmy Jon's up to, go there. My X account as well is x.com/youngscrimmage. That's an easy way to find me too. But the Discord is the best way to get in touch with the Mafia and myself.
Beautiful. We'll have all those links below in the show notes. Alex, you got
Let's
me?
go.
What was the number?
60.
60.
Okay. I had 62 in my head. Okay. All right. We've got drum roll.
Ooh.
Scotty M.
Hey!
Congrats to Scotty M.
Let's go, Scotty.
Scotty, send us a message in Discord, open a help ticket, get in touch with us, and Uber Eats guy, send me or one of these guys a DM over on TikTok, and we will make sure to get you some peace, love, pizza. Scrim, you got a final thought? Last question, good joke or word of wisdom for the folks before we say bye for now?
Just first, of course, thank you for having me on. This is a great chat. I've had a good time with you guys. But also, let's just pizza the planet together, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a mission we can all get behind.
That's right.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Young Scrimmage. Have a great day, brother, and we'll catch up to you again soon, okay?
Sounds good, GM.
GM. Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, I know we have a whole show left to do, and Will, you've got to go at the top of the hour. So do you want to pivot now that your pizza is done and give us a little goodness, maybe some Bitcoin dominance, or maybe a preview of some of the numbers we are going to get or have gotten today?
Yeah, let's see. Yesterday, a little bit of macro data now. Oh, I feel so much better now that I've eaten a little bit of pizza. It's great. Pizza's magical. So guys, today we will be getting data. Actually, we may have gotten it 25 minutes ago. Today's data is the weekly jobless claims data, and then also some data around the real estate market. The most important thing, though, is that Jerome Powell is speaking. There will be a decision made about interest rates. No one is expecting interest rates to be cut today. In fact, it's basically at a 100% chance of there being no cuts. But the important thing is to hear what Jerome Powell has to say about the market moving forward. So that's the big market shaping thing that could happen today. Yesterday, we got a little bit of macro news. I was too busy to make a video on it, sadly, yesterday, so I'll have to make a video on it today. It was around retail sales data in the United States. It was a pretty big miss. It was expected that retail sales data was going to increase by 0.2%, and it decreased by 0.3%. That was core retail sales. But if you look at total retail sales, and I'm actually not entirely sure what the difference is between core and regular retail, because with CPI inflation and core CPI is the reduction of, or the removal of energy and food. So I'm not sure what it is with retail sales. I'll have to look that up and let you guys know. But
I've got the answer
total
really quick for you when you're ready.
Oh, tell me now.
Total sales at the retail level is retail sales. Cars, gas, food, broad. Core retail sales is retail sales minus auto and gas. They're excluded because cars are big ticket item and gas prices are highly sensitive to oil.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, retail sales decreased by 0.9% when it was expected to decrease by 0.5%. So across those two, the U.S. consumer is spending less money. At least they did last month. So by a pretty big margin. So that is usually a sign of potential downturn in economies, because people spend less money, then companies make less money, their stocks go down, they fire people, unemployment goes up, yada, yada, yada. So retail sales data month over month is going to be something we're going to want to keep our eyes on. Was the month of May a one-time thing? Or is this the continuation of, or the start of a trend where retail sales are going down? So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. And then something else I want to update everyone on. Oh, muted myself so no one would hear my really loud typing. Is if we look at Bitcoin dominance, and let me clear up this chart real quick. Bam. Delete this, clean this up, and I'll share my screen in one moment.
If you want to see the screen share, you're listening in podcast land. First of all, hello. We hope your candles are green. You can check out the YouTube Rise Up Morning Show playlist. Just search YouTube, the Rise Up Morning Show, and you will see everything for yourself. Go ahead, Will.
So this is Bitcoin dominance. It's continuing on the rise. I had been reporting that this indicator here, the Moxie indicator, which is a measurement of momentum, had flipped from bullish to bearish across this white line right here. However, because of the past couple days of selling, as a result, it seems, due to headlines with the Iran and Israel conflict and whether or not the United States is going to hop in there too, Bitcoin sold, altcoins sold so much harder that the two short signals that we got on Bitcoin dominance, meaning that altcoins we're right at the cusp of really having a solid rally. Both of those short signals were totally erased with the selling that we saw happen yesterday. So it looks like those short signals that we saw for Bitcoin dominance in the beginning of an altcoin rally were erased, and that those signals that we got were false positives, which is sad. So that's what we're looking at right now. And that's all I have to share.
Beautiful. Will, do you think that we are on track if those numbers continue? I know we're not supposed to get one today, a rate cut, but do you think that we're on track to get one sometime this summer?
This summer, I don't know. The fall and winter time, maybe, because it looks like inflation isn't being affected too badly by tariffs. Inflation did go up, but it went up just a little bit because if you think about tariffs, well, tariffs do make things more expensive. When you make things more expensive, typically demand also goes down. So demand going down is also deflationary. So it seems like, as of right now, tariffs are just slightly inflationary because of that. So we'll see. We'll have to keep monitoring it. So if inflation stays kind of in line with where it's currently at, then the Fed can start getting some data points to say, okay, cool, inflation seems fairly stable. Maybe after a few more data readings, like in the fall and in the winter time, we'd feel comfortable cutting rates. And the other thing too is if retail sales are going down, that is something the Fed will also look at, because then they're going to go, okay, well, that's one domino that once that starts going can affect unemployment, as we mentioned before. And the Fed have a dual mandate: maintain the health of the US dollar, maintain the health of the US labor market. And if the US labor market starts to weaken and it looks like the dollar is not being affected too much by the tariffs causing inflation, then the Fed could be open to cutting rates. But in my opinion, the Fed doesn't have enough data this month or whenever their next meeting is, which might be next month or the month afterwards, in order to make that call. It's probably going to be the fall or beginning of winter.
Got it. Thank you. And I know you need to go in a minute, so I would love for you to give us a final thought. And we do have some questions in the audience. Folks would love a refreshed take from you on Aerodrome. And they also are asking, what about alt season? I did want to update you with this. Polymarket, we were talking about the conflict. Polymarket is pricing in now a 70% likelihood that the United States will take a military action against Iran before July. This is up big in the last 24 or so hours.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for us if you think about like the whole empire situation. So this is fun. I have to leave in a little bit. Fun, Eric. Fun. Really bad word. Really bad choice of words. But
you knew what you meant.
It's the thought experiment of will the United States perform military actions against Iran? The answer is no one knows. But now is the time that makes the most amount of sense if we were ever going to. What are you going to say, Alex?
Just that that contentious interview between old Tucker and Ted Cruz, old Teddy boy, pretty much let that slip. And I mean, the two options there are equal likeliness. I would say that he's either an idiot or he just wasn't being careful.
Can you read people in very quickly? And then I know Will has to go. So.
I mean, in essence, Ted Cruz basically just said that like we were doing it. We were already actively involved. And then Tucker was like, wait, what? That's breaking news. And he was like, well, no, I mean, like it's someone else and it's not us.
Like, if Israel's attacking Iran, which they are, it's because the United States goes, okay. So there. You know.
Well, and then Tucker's point was just like, well, what do you mean? You're a sitting U.S. senator. You don't know? And he's like, I just, no, that's not what you're putting words in my mouth, blah, 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 blah. And it was just, what came out of this interview is that Ted Cruz doesn't fucking know anything about anything. And also we're probably involved.
Yeah, we're definitely involved. Like there's no
more heavily though.
Yeah. Well, the thing is if you take all of your missiles and give them to someone else and then you go do that thing, that's about it. I mean, that's like one step of separation away from direct involvement. You just didn't have your people hit the button. You had someone else's people hit the button. So like we're involved, of course. If it's Israeli military actions, we're involved. That's just the way it is. But I'll say this one thing is if the U.S. is going to take military action against Iran, it makes probably more sense for us/them to do it now because of the opportunity. So what is the opportunity? And I'm talking, this is just empire, like the game of empires, right? So what's happened in the past 2 years? Iran has all their proxies, right? They have Hezbollah that was in Gaza and Greater Palestine, as well as Lebanon. And Israel has fully gone into Palestine.
We have to go back a little farther, though. A little farther to our current fearless leaders' removal of us from the Iran nuclear deal.
Yes, there was that too.
Kind of kicked off this whole.
But I was going to say more like militaristically.
That yes, me too.
Is okay, yeah, true. So you have Hezbollah's forces weaker than they ever have been in the past 10 years. You have the Houthis who got bombed after they attacked cruise line shipping in the Hormuz Strait. I forget the name of the strait. And then you had
Strait of Hormuz, yeah.
Syria's Assad regime, which was also backed by Iran, fell. So you have all of these like proxy groups fueled financially by Iran that have been decimated or weakened to the point where they're not really a big threat. And now you have Iran on its own right after Trump went and made a bunch of like deals with 4 very large Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and Syria. And so Iran is basically on its own. And so during that time, I was like, I wonder how Israel feels about all these deals that Trump is making in the Middle East. Because like I feel like they'd be kind of upset about some of this. And I was like, I wonder what they're going to get. And I'm like, oh, this is what they get. They get like, hey, I have deals with the Middle East. They're all getting paid. You guys have an open window to go hit Iran. All those proxies are weak. And if we want to go to dismantle Iran's government, well, we're going to go do that now because they're at their weakest militaristically. And I say all that while being fully aware of the history of the United States' meddling with Iran's governments in the 60s and 70s that toppled their democracy and gave them their current dictatorship that they have today. So, here we are. So, like, if you're going to attack Iran, there's no better time militaristically than to do it now, because they don't have their proxies and you have a bunch of business deals with the Middle East, and Russia can't help because they're too busy with Ukraine. China's not going to help because they just made a deal with the United States and they're just starting to recover economically. So Iran is on their own.
It's a good take.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. And I'm just like, all we can hope for is that at the end of this, there's not another absolute catastrophe that we've created in the Middle East.
Yeah. Will, do you have another final thought for us? We do have several people wanting to know what you think about Aerodrome in light of recent price action, because you're the guy, man. You're the
I made a 25% trade on Aerodrome in 6 hours. That was fucking crazy. But no, I mean, like
40% this week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. If you're up, take profits.
Did.
Yeah, I mean, just remember, guys, like there's a lot of red in the market. So if you're up, take some profits. And yeah, I mean, like this happens every single time where you have a big dip in Bitcoin and altcoins. There's always like one shining example of an altcoin that like everyone in the market then looks at, goes, that's green. And everyone just starts diving into it. And it creates one coin that has momentum still. But ultimately, a bearish momentum does catch up to it. It doesn't go forever, especially when the rest of the market's red. So, and it just happens to be Aerodrome right now. And Aerodrome's one of the coins like Virtuals and Ondo and Sui and other ones that have been able to be hot this year at like certain points in time. So a lot of altcoins have just been cold. Some altcoins were hot all the time. Other coins were in that like B+, A- tier. Aerodrome's in that. So it has a lot of eyeballs on it. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say about that. Are we going to see you after dark tonight?
Yes, I'll be on, but I probably won't be on. I don't know. We'll see. I might not be on for all of it, but I'll be there for at least an hour for sure.
Okay. Beautiful.
Good
well,
deal.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Watson, thanks for hanging, brother.
See you guys.
And thank you for hanging out with us. If you've got a question, you've got a suggestion, a good joke, a crypto word of wisdom, a prediction, then this is the time to share it. I see CryptoBoat is getting ready to type an unrelated question. Kai Torres says, dude, this dip is ridiculoso. And we've had a couple comments back and forth, Alex, about is there always a crash with Bitcoin every 4 years? And I thought maybe we could just speak to that. Even though we're on like, the 10th year of a Bitcoin pizza party with PizzaDAO, Bitcoin is still so young, right? And if you're a scientist and you're trying to perform some sort of predictive analytic, it's really tough to say we've got 12 years of data. Most of the world hasn't heard about this thing. It's been illegal or difficult to obtain for a lot of its life. And even just now, I mean, there is only just beginning to be institutional interest or the availability for institutional money to buy this stuff. So I feel like it's really kind of a fool's game to say with any degree of confidence, like, yeah, every 4 years, totally. What do you think?
No, I think that's insane. There's just so many things that it's never experienced that have never happened during its entire lifetime. It was post 2008. We haven't had another one of those since then.
Yeah.
You could make the argument that the pandemic was bad, but it was like a flash comparatively. So I don't know. I always say that, yeah, if you look at it in a vacuum, there's a pretty decent amount of data and information, but like in the grand scheme of things, when you compare it to the rest of the financial world, at what point does an anecdote become data? How long does something have to exist before you transcend anecdote territory, which would just be like, kind of a smaller, more isolated example of something, if Evan's coughing right now. So if I was to try to say that, Evan coughs at a certain number of times or a certain percentage of all of our episodes, I wouldn't necessarily be able to just pull that out and present that as data, because right now this is an anecdote. He usually doesn't do this. So, an anecdote, something that happens to me today is an anecdote. It's not indicative of a large data set. And so Bitcoin is kind of like getting to that point where it's like, all right, you know what? Like, this is starting to be data, but like we need more information first. And the nature of collecting and analyzing and presenting and drawing conclusions from data is an evolving, living, breathing process. So it's going to keep changing. I mean, the most common question in the last how many months is all about altcoin season. Who knows? There are so many unknowns. I mean, what percentage of these things that we're looking at right now that we're calling altcoins are like less than 5 years old? It's insane to think that we can like correctly deduce or figure out like what overall patterns are going to be. I think you can put things in vacuums and you can look at anecdotes and you can like isolate stuff. So like Will was just saying, AERO right now is isolated. It's having a moment. Lots of different things can contribute to it. It's not indicative of an overall like pattern shift, in my opinion. So I don't know. We just need to keep collecting data. That's literally why my entire thesis has changed from trying to rely on predictions or listen to people doing lots of chart analysis whenever it's like, hey, listen, whatever I just bought is up by so many percentage points. Perfect, nailed it, taking profit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing you can really rely on in a world full of anecdotes.
Solemn said, I predict the chart will move to the right. Good prediction. And he also asked, what does your shirt say? For people in podcast land, my shirt says crypto, but make it human. That's the goal, right?
Amen.
I do have a couple of other interesting news tidbits that might inform what is happening in the world of crypto in the not too distant future today. I thought this one was fun. Fartcoin is going to be listed on Binance today. So I don't have a sound effect, but if I did, I would play it now.
You know what?
And
that's the industry in a nutshell.
That's the industry in a nutshell. Check this out too. There are 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 XRP ETFs being listed and expected to start trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange
spot
today. Yes, there is one that is Canadian dollar hedged, Canadian dollar unhedged, and US dollar units. There is another one that is without hedging, without derivatives. There are several. One is debuting with a 0% management fee for 6 months. And just talking about like, how this cycle might be different, how Bitcoin's life is different now. Michael Saylor last week, Strategy, they added over 10,000 Bitcoin, 10,000. And this is how far behind every other institution is. I think some people say like, oh, the institutions are here. The institutions are here. The next headline about this is from Crypto Daybook Americas, by the way, shout out CoinDesk. Great coverage from their daily newsletter. The blockchain group said it added 182 Bitcoin this week. So could you imagine being the head of PR for the blockchain group and you're like writing this press release, you're so excited because you got 182 Bitcoin and feeling really good about yourself, and you open the newspaper to look for your press release and it says Strategy adds another 10,000 Bitcoin, and you're just like, damn it, Michael Saylor. Most institutions are not there yet. And most institutions are trying to figure out how to get there. And not just institutions, but countries, governments, private companies. It's our friend Vanessa reported on the Seeking Alpha podcast the other day. Excuse me, Vanessa. Larissa, Jesus Christ, help me. I can't read and talk at the same time. Larissa. First I give Lindsay the wrong EA name, and now I'm calling Larissa Vanessa. Cut it.
Embarrassing.
Larissa said the other day on the Seeking Alpha podcast, which you absolutely should be listening to, it's a great weekly podcast, that there are 78 companies, publicly traded companies, who hold Bitcoin now. And I was like, no way. That is like up from, a handful.
I did not know it was
the start of this year. And now I went to fact check the number, and it's almost 100 now. By different reports, different types of companies. Yeah. So this thing is barely getting started. Someone asked in the comments, Will noted that there was a gap in the chart. He's famous for talking about how gaps get filled 99% of the time on Bitcoin's chart at like 72,000, meaning that there is a jump from its price at close and price at open of a market. And usually when he says gaps get filled, he means that the price will change over time to that level, at least at some point in time. But who knows? The data is so new. The cycle is so young. And we're just here for the ride. Jessica said, where's the coffee? I No. Let me tell you, I might need some more caffeine or something.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, we have almost come to that time where we're going to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. So before we do, Alex, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? I just wanted to talk about the passing of the Genius Act, because we do finally have a passed Genius Act, but I'm glad to defer to you because it's mostly just a headline.
Nope, that's where I was going to take it.
Take it there.
So, passed the Senate. Pretty solid support. 68 to 30. This is pull up my little. I got a little running table of exactly where we're at in the whole process. So, at this point, Senate passage is obviously good, and now the House is reconsidering, and then we have to go through reconciliation, and then another House vote. So we'll see. Timeline is, next couple months. We'll see what happens, but there are like other pieces of crypto legislation. So there's the potential for legislative mergers. There is still time to debate and talk about stuff, whatever. But like, I would say signs are relatively decent, given the way, it's got bipartisan support. We'll see.
And of course, hot on the heels of that news, just a couple days ago, we had the announcement from Walmart and another one from Amazon that they are, like William Quigley predicted, exploring stablecoin payments to streamline transactions and reduce fees, per the Wall Street Journal. William Quigley's prediction, if you missed it, was that any entity that moves money in size across many borders, in and out all the time, is going to launch its own stablecoin, because why wouldn't they? To capture the fees, to have their own vehicle that accrues the value that they're giving up to banks, that they're giving up to your government, whatever. And I was like, you know what?
See, here's the thing. Like, this is why it doesn't make any sense to not do this, because those companies can still take their cut. So they're eliminating a fee that they have to pay. It doesn't necessarily, that's the shitty part. Well, I don't know. It's better for them. It's not necessarily better for us, because I'm sure that they will not just like use that as an excuse to drop all of their prices, because they're not compensating for fees anymore. They're just going to make more money. So, there's that. But also, I think it just kind of like blasts out to all other businesses like, hey, there is no reason for you to not accept stablecoin payments. It's so easy to do it. Why not do it? I mean, that was the whole explanation that I gave at the cafe around the corner when I talked to her about it. Was just why would I do that? No vendor fees. Done. Where do I sign up? That was it.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
I'm going to be on a stablecoin panel for not NFT NYC. Not only is permissionless in New York next week, they've got NFT NYC, and then they've got not NFT NYC, which is
that's
like,
what I was going to say. That's where I discovered PizzaDAO for the first time, was NFT LA 2022.
Oh, man, good times. I bet they put on a great party there.
Yeah, they had a booth. They had a booth out on the like kind of that outside area where all the food tents were.
I'm going to be parroting William Quigley's talking points and hopefully adding some helpful value to people, because the theme of the panel I'm appearing on is stablecoins, and I'm hopeful that it will be helpful. Though I have a feeling that it'll mostly be crypto people in the audience, so I don't know necessarily what value I'm going to add. I got to do my homework. Jessica said, I don't like that this bill will ban holders from earning interest on their holdings. And, William had an interesting take on that too. For people who don't know, he's the co-founder of Tether, among other things. That's like one big feather in his very feathered cap. But he said, most people are not that concerned with yield. The people who are concerned with it are banks that don't want you to have it. And the people who are concerned with getting it are mostly like a handful of crypto users. The real want for stablecoins is to eliminate those fees, like Alex pointed out, that big companies, governments, etc. pay, and so that you can have velocity to your money. If you live in some place where you can't get access to dollars, stablecoins make it easier, or any kind of stable currency. So, it's tough. Oh, check this out, Alex. In the meantime, says, reach out to Larry. You guys still have a group. He advises, reach out to Larry, you guys. Sorry. Still have a group. He advises White House on stablecoin regulations. Larry, if you're listening, I want to hear about it. In the meantime, send me a DM. I'd like to know more. Stablecoin advisor. And tonight on the show, the Rise Up After Dark show. We're going to be live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with our friend Brooke Lacey. She's a dev. Just made a video the other day joking about how her mom thinks she works at Bitcoin and does their computer stuff for them. She's hilarious. She is smart. She's been involved in our space for a number of years, and I'm really excited to pick her brain about what's happening right now, the kind of things she's paying attention to, and also involve her in the conversation of how we can invite more people into our space. She's got a really great viral TikTok. If you look up Brooke Lacey, she's got a big account on TikTok. This really funny video she did a couple of years ago about how like including women in crypto is usually like there's a panel for women in crypto, and she plays two characters, and one of them is like, okay, so what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about like protocol design? Are we going to talk about novel consensus mechanisms? They're like, no, you're a woman in crypto. Like that's it. That's the panel. And
That's the whole topic.
it was really good. So we're excited to have her on, not because she's a woman, but because she's brilliant, fun, and needs to be making more content. She's one of those people, like we were talking about with Emily, who's like been in the space long enough that she's seen a couple waves of it. And it's hard for people who are just getting in to get in touch with folks who've been here for a while. But those are history keepers of our space. History doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And learning what they know can be a great way to really help you make better decisions, save time, save money, that kind of stuff. So I think I'm about well met, Alex. Do you want to do a round of final thoughts, and then we'll call it good before we ride our beautiful dogs and ponies into the sunset? Update: my cat and my cow are out of the bag, haven't been spayed yet. Moving our target to next week. He lives to romp another day. What are you thinking? What's your final thought, man?
I'm trying to think if I have anything meaningful left to. I might honestly be pretty well met. I would just say that to echo what we said earlier, if you find yourself in a position with one of these altcoins that does have a moment, I would definitely consider some kind of profits taking. And actually, I have a video from not too long ago that kind of explains how you can still participate in that idea of profit taking, even if the position itself is underwater. That doesn't mean, like, the fact that your entry price is higher. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but bear with me. Just because your entry price is higher does not mean that the percentage of increase is lost on you. And the thing to keep in mind here is that, like, the quantity that you hold, none of that is changing, right? The price changes all the time. And you can still capitalize on a day when it's up 40% in a week, like AERO is right now, for example, and know that it will probably come back down again at some point. And you could always re-expand the position at that point with the profits that you took. The odds that you're kind of betting on by keeping something for an indeterminate amount of time is that it will eventually surpass your entry price, which it may not. You don't know that. But what you do know is that these things are volatile and they tend to range and they go up and down. And you can renegotiate a position that is underwater back into a position of profit, even if the original entry price is never recaptured, simply by capitalizing on those percentage swings during these times of volatility. So, for example,
I was going to say, give me some numbers.
If you bought Solana at $200 and then it fell to 100, and it's kind of sat around at 100 for, let's say, the next 2 or 3 months, and then all of a sudden it went to 125, your position is two things: underwater, up 25% on the day. If you were to have taken profit on that up 25% thing, so let's say you bought one at $200, it falls to 100 in price. You still have one, it's just worth half, goes up by 25%, right?
I'm with you.
You sell half of your soul. Now you have 0.5. You have what? 75. I can't do math. $75 worth, and you've sold $75 worth, and it falls back down again. You can kind of continue to do that, like go back in, go back out, go back in, go back out. As it's ranging, it's now tomorrow it's down 10%, then it's back up 15% the following day, then it falls 30%, then it goes back up 25% again. In participating in that volatility, eventually your position will be in profit, even though your entry price originally was 200, because now you have been lowering that cost basis every single time you rebuy and rinsing profits the whole time. It's kind of confusing to think about. It's harder to say it all like without a visual aid. I do have a visual aid in the video that like writes it down in like a little ladder progression, so you can kind of like help visualize it. This is a great opportunity to try a skill wherein you just like fake trade on like a spreadsheet and kind of make up some numbers and try to envision, you know, like, okay, well, how much would I have left if I sold half of this position right now? And how many dollars would that get me if I did it? And then what happens to the price, or to if the price falls down? It is a lot of math. It sounds worse than it is.
Yeah.
100%. It sounds a lot worse than it is. And if this is something that you're interested in, I'll drop the video link that I have to kind of my explanation in Discord, and then we can kind of write it down. And I'll do another visual aid thing just to kind of help it make a little bit more sense, because it's not as bad as it sounds.
You could even kick off that cycle. I bought sold at 200. It falls to 100 by buying an equivalent dollar amount of sold tokens. Like, what that would do is it would effectively lower my average buy price from $200 per soul to $150 per soul. And of course, this is not the kind of thing that works for every crypto token every single time. Sometimes you bought a crypto token at the top and it never ever comes back, and you're trying to time the tops and bottoms, and it's, you know, something that's it's probably not going to work for Harry Potter, Sonic, Obama, Inu. But if it's a token with a foundation and a company that's going to be here for a while, I'm thinking of like, I don't know, Cosmos, AERO, Solana, you know, something that's in like the top 100. It's got some mind share. People actually work there. Then you probably, at the very least, can, like Alex said, reduce the amount you paid per token over the time and reduce the total amount of loss you incur by moving that price down or selling some when it's up. Just, you know, don't be a fool for sunken cost fallacy. The idea that I've held this thing for so long, I've got to keep holding it. Often the best thing to do is to jump the ship. That money can make you more elsewhere. And that's true for your attention. That's true for all your investments, right? You don't have to stick with it just because you started it once.
Yeah.
And you know, you're underwater. So
no, it's one of those things, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can gum up this process. And there's a lot of different things that can happen that can change the outcome. You know, like Evan just said, spending too much time with something that's a lost cause. Most of these things are destined to fail. The success rate for startup companies is bad. The success rate for startup companies in tech is worse.
Yeah.
The startup success rate for companies in tech in a brand new bleeding edge niche of the tech industry is even worse. So, you know, take your wins when you can get them, and don't get married to anything that could just become an anchor. And if you find yourself in a marriage with an anchor, it is possible to work on it because of the magic that is volatility.
I don't know how to sell this thing. And if that's you, then jump into the Rise Up Discord, come back to the show. I want to highlight a few of these comments before we get out of here completely. Lee said, I think you guys should start pushing self-custody in your crypto, not leaving it on exchanges or in banks. I agree. We had Arculus on, and we think of custody as like a journey. Alex and I both have recommended exchanges at different times. We think they're probably an easier tool for people to start. And the skills you need, if you're going to invest in any kind of cryptocurrency or even just spend time here, you need to know how to buy, how to sell, how to transfer your crypto, how to store it securely. You need to learn self-custody. You need to know how to turn it back into cash, how to sell this thing. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself underwater on some kind of investment, and it's not going to go well for you, my friend. M. Morales 6 says, stacking and piling the gains while in the loss, get back to break even or more. Makes sense. Amsfar said, math is hard. Time in the market beats timing the market. Alex Joseph wants to know, where can I get that My Mom Thinks I Work at Bitcoin t-shirt? Or tell him.
It's in our merch store at theriseupmorningshow.com.
That's exactly
One
right.
of the two options.
If you navigate to theriseupmorningshow.com, there is a little menu. It's right at the top left of the page. It expands into a variety of options. You can check out our membership program, sign up for a free trial. You can book coaching and consulting. You can take one of our courses. We've got these recorded courses there. And then, Rise Up merch. Not only can you get USDC to $2 tea, a Rise Up Morning Show coffee mug, you can get a "My Mom Thinks I Work at Bitcoin" t-shirt or sticker. You can get it in gray, you can get it in black, you can get it in white with black text. I think that one looks pretty cool. And we would love for you to get one because I always get cute little comments on it when I wear it to the grocery store. People kind of got to lean in, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it, my friends. We got to go. We will be back tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll be in the Discord 24/7. It's the place the show lives, even when it's off the air. Check it out at discord.gg/riseup, or just remember the riseupmorningshow.com, where you can find a link to all of our official socials. Thank you very much, my friend, for being the very best part of what we do. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, be well, rise up.